Imagine buying a $500 million luxury car, driving it for a few years, and then completely abandoning it on the side of the highway. Not because the engine broke down, but simply because it ran out of gas. For decades, that's exactly how the satellite industry has operated. Hundreds of massive, ultra-expensive communication satellites are currently drifting toward graveyard orbits. Their solar panels work, their supercomputers are fine, but their thruster tanks are empty. That wastefulness ends now. SpaceX just launched a mission that changes orbital economics forever. Northrop Grumman's Mission Robotic Vehicle, or MRV-1. Think of it as space's first dedicated, multi-client AAA roadside assistance vehicle. So what actually is MRV-1? Built by Space Logistics, MRV-1 is a 3,000-kilogram spacecraft designed around a single job, fixing and extending the life of other satellites. Mounted on the front are two 10-foot-long robotic arms. These arms aren't just for grabbing, they feature sub-centimeter precision. They can inspect damaged hardware, perform minor exterior repairs, and clamp onto satellites that were never even designed to be handled in space. Even better, MRV-1 is built to last. It carries the Space Force's first approved refueling interface, meaning other fuel tankers can refuel MRV-1 down the line. Over its decade-long lifespan, this single robotic vehicle is slated to service as many as 30 different satellites. Now, how does it actually extend a satellite's life? Riding along on the Falcon 9 rocket were three secondary payloads called Mission Extension Pods, or MEPs. Think of a pod as a miniaturized 400-kilogram thruster jetpack. Once MRV-1 arrives at geostationary orbit, roughly 22,000 miles above Earth, it will rendezvous with one of these pods. It will pick up the pod using its robotic arms, fly over to a customer's aging satellite, and physically attach it onto the back. Once attached, the pod takes over all propulsion and steering for the client satellite, adding up to 8 extra years of operational life. Once the pod is locked on, MRV-1 simply unlinks, flies away, and goes to perform the exact same job on the next satellite. On this first mission alone, pods are heading to satellites operated by Intelsat and Optus. Putting MRV-1 and 3 extension pods into a high geostationary transfer orbit takes an immense amount of energy, and that led to a rare event for SpaceX. To give the payload the maximum possible push, SpaceX flew Booster B-1069. This legendary workhorse had already completed 31 successful missions. Because every single drop of fuel was needed for velocity, SpaceX stripped off the landing legs and grid fins. After 32 record-setting flights, Booster B-1069 was fully expended into the Atlantic Ocean, going out on a high-stakes, high-value mission. We are witnessing a fundamental paradigm shift in space operations. We are moving away from treating satellites like disposable hardware and moving toward an era of orbital repair, refueling, and life extension. MRV-1 and its payload will spend the next year slowly raising their orbits to reach geostationary altitude. Once they arrive, the era of the space mechanic officially begins.